much.
Thank you for having me. My name again is Moirali Roig, and I'm the account manager for Becker Professional Education. We are the #1 CPA review provider there is in the industry. And for those of you that are not familiar what CPA means or stands for, it's a Certified Public Accountant. However, today I'm shifting gears. Don't worry, I'm not going to bore you with accounting, but we're going to be talking about tips for success in virtual career fairs, which is pretty much the modality that we are in right now. And this is an interactive presentation. For those of you joining us, please go ahead and take with your phone and take a picture of this QR code, or open your browser or your Safari in your cell phones and join me for the conversation. There's a few poll questions along the way. That's why I'm asking you to log in. If at some point you lose connection to the polls site, it's always going to be displayed in your upper right-hand side corner of your screen. So go ahead and join the conversation there. And like I said, I'm going to be talking today about tips for success. So let's go right to it. First poll question is, of course, your first and last name. Thank you. Now, let's start talking about what can you do in order to get ready while you're still in school. Of course, remember, you have to think of this pandemic as a time that the clock has stopped for you. Okay, let's start trying to positive thinking here. The clock has stopped for you to dedicate time to your studies, meaning improve your GPA, get connected in and participate in extracurricular activities, join student organizations. These student organizations will provide you with community involvement. And it's not only for you to be a member, it's for you to actually participate, be involved, have a role. That's how you fully participate in student organizations. Start drafting a resume, attend mock interviews and networking events. Mock interviews are great in order for you to elevate and gain confidence when that career first starts coming. So participating in those mock interviews gets your feet wet, and you actually start practicing about how to answer questions and all that. Attend, of course, virtual career fairs. Even if you're a freshman or sophomore students, I always say my students, go for it. Why? Because by the time that you're actually pursuing an internship opportunity in year 3 and year 4, you already went through the process of shaking the hand, saying your name, bringing your resume, start asking questions, start answering questions, and your confidence level starts increasing. So even if you're a first year and sophomore students, get your feet wet in the ground. All right. Seek, of course, professional development opportunities like the ones that you are in today. And of course, leadership opportunities. Start joining organizations. Let's talk a little bit about LinkedIn. Guys, your LinkedIn page. This is not TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. This is your professional profile. Therefore, keep it professional. Colors. Ladies, color shirts or a suit. Okay, cover your shoulders, cover your chest area. Guys, groom. Again, color shirts, if you can, a suit and a tie. Okay, let me show you a little bit of how, at least mine looks like. This is what you should be. This is your LinkedIn URL. This is what you need to add to your resume. Claim it. Okay, I'd rather see, when I receive emails from students, I'd rather go and click on that LinkedIn URL and see you, actually see you, get to know you, get to see your whole resume information, but in a much nicer looking than a sheet of black and white. So, you start talking a punch good summary line. What's about you that strikes me the most? What are your skill set? What is your expertise? Okay. Then you go down into, here's my experience, education, licenses and certifications, my volunteer experience, skills. Okay. Skills and endorsement. This is a really powerful part of your LinkedIn profile. If you have no idea what your skill sets are, take a quiz. And it's right there. Take a skill quiz. Why? Because as people start getting to know you, they can start tagging you and endorse you in these skill sets. So that is really powerful when scrolling down and seeing what is your most strengths and skill sets. And of course, you have there a recommendation site that as you start getting to know your faculty members and your instructors and your employers and all of that, and they are here and you start building your network, you can start asking for recommendations from them and people can see it. And of course, if you're bilingual or trilingual, and I like to see what my students follow, you know, what are their interests. So I always tell my students, if you do not have a LinkedIn page, create one and start adding very powerful profile sections and claim that URL. And that's pretty much what I can give you about LinkedIn. It's preferred. The recruiters actually prefer that way in order to see you, put a face to a name, and more than anything, get to see your network. Okay. Now, your resume, keep it clean. Spell check, give it to someone to proofread it, okay? You are seeing this sheet of paper so many times that, believe me, things are gonna pass over you. So it's good to always share, okay? Just talk about an email address. Keep it professional, guys. And I know you know what that means, okay? You know what I mean about that. Okay, try to use your school email address if that's the one that you see the most. If you rather use your personal email address, make it clean, okay? No pseudonyms, nothing that is not professional or not appropriate. Go ahead and add your graduation, expected graduation date, your GPA, to bring interest into it, okay? Your certifications, if you have skill sets, if you use computer softwares that no one else uses it, that is really powerful. Okay, if you do not have experience yet in the field, and this is a question that I get the most, Morali, I'm still in school. I haven't done anything. It brings me back to how I just started. Be involved in student organizations and societies. These organizations and societies provide you with opportunities for you to do community involvement and events that are relevant towards your field of study. And those are the things that you're going to put in experience. You can name it community involvement or other experience, okay? But there's always that something you can do in order to attract recruiters, okay? Let's talk elevator speech, and I do take a sweet time on this, okay? Because elevator speech is something that students get very nervous. You don't practice it enough, okay? And you don't have the confidence to go through it, okay? So the most important thing that I want you to take out of this today is your elevator speech, okay? It has to be short, persuasive. You have to be able, in that short amount of sentences, you're gonna be sharing your skills. What do you want? Be confident, and as much as information as you can in these really small 3 to 4 sentences. Don't worry, I'm going to give you one example and I'm going to repeat it. The only thing that I want you to take away from this is, no matter how many times I'm going to say it, okay, you have to practice it. And the best way for you to practice it is recording yourself, or video yourself, or tell it to a friend, or tell it to a classmate or a clubmate or a professor. If you are in a rowing class, just row your elevator speech. If you're doing squats, say your elevator speech. The most times that you practice it, it comes out of your tongue. And this is an example. All right. Now, before I give you the example, you have to say the name of the school only if you're going to a virtual career fair that has multiple schools. If a virtual career fair is just for your school, then you can skip the name of the school. But since we are in a multi-school kind of professional development scenario today, this is how it looks like. Hello, my name is Morali Roig, and I am a Florida Southern student. I am a junior in accounting. I have been doing tutoring in the accounting lab for the last semester, and I participated in the VITA program. I am looking for an internship in taxation in the next spring. Let's talk about opportunities within your company. I said my name, the school that I represented, the year that I'm at, my major, what experiences, recent experiences I've been doing in my field, what am I looking for, and when. This may seem that it's a lot, but it really isn't. You have to be confident and don't be afraid to say, what are you looking for? Okay. Why? Because virtual career fairs, the experience is that usual career fairs, there were 3-hour, 4-hour, 5-hour events, and you make a line and you wait your turn, and a recruiter will get to you eventually. Virtual career fairs are now 2 hours. And that's if you're lucky. Some of them are an hour and a half. And they put you in this lobby, virtual lobby or waiting room, and you're waiting your turn. So really, you only have like 10 minutes with a recruiter. Okay, so that's why it has to be persuasive, short, and to the point, because you have to be able to make an impression from the get-go. All right, so again, my name is Moira Leroy. I'm from Florida Southern College. I'm a junior in accounting. I've been doing some tutoring in the accounting lab, as well as participated in the VITA program. I'm looking for an internship this coming spring in taxation. Let's talk about what opportunities your company has to offer. Boom. And then you start the conversation. You have to practice and practice and practice. For those of you that have joined us right now, go ahead to this URL in your upper right-hand side corner and join the conversation. You can go use your phone, is the preferred way, and start joining me on the questions and poll questions that I do along the way. All right, so before the event, go and check the employers list. Usually before a career fair, your school or your state society or whatever you are, they send you an email with the employers that are going to be in attendance. Be realistic. You're not going to be able to see all of them, because I just told you, career fairs are usually now shorter. And what they do is they try to put as many students in a short period of time with that specific recruiter. So you're not going to be able to interview with 20 people or 20 companies. So you prioritize. What you do is you take that list, and then you start looking for the open positions in those companies, okay? And you actually research the companies, look at their websites, their social media, look at their, what exactly are they involved with, their community, their outreach, news, and facts about them. Why? Because career first is just not about you. You have to come up with a conversation and actually present yourself as someone with interest in them. That is powerful, okay? So prioritize the employers based on your interest, because you're not going to be able to hit them all, okay? And those are the ones that you're going to be researching for. Try to match the keywords of the job descriptions with your resume or your skill set, as well as your LinkedIn profile, okay? Research interview questions. Don't worry, I'm going to give you 2 slides that you can take snaps, okay, of the questions that they may or may not, that are usually the ones that they ask you. But also bring questions yourself for them. It's really powerful when you ask about them as well, because these are normal, regular beings, okay? And it's really nice when we get questions about, tell me about yourself, how long have you been in the company, do you like it, tell me more about how much of involvement. So all of those kind of questions, bring them forward, and it actually brings the ease of the conversation. Next poll question, which university do you go to? Okay, so go to your phones and answer the question. Now, this is one of the slides. There's 2 slides, this one and the next one, about the questions to consider. I'm not gonna go through them, but it usually starts with, tell me about you. Okay, what do you know about us, strengths, weaknesses, how long do you plan to stay? Be honest. I know millennials and Gen Z generation uh, move every 2 years, 2 to 5. That's normal. All right, but be honest about what's your plan and your strategy to stay, because remember, they're investing in you. They're investing in training and development for you. So be honest about how long do you plan to stay. If it's not an internship, you know the start date, you know the end date, which is usually 4 weeks, 6 weeks at the most if you're lucky. Okay, so if it's not an internship and you want to look further, those are the questions that you have to ask. Okay, situational questions. Tell me about a time about this. Tell me about a time about that. So those are good questions that you have to always be ready. This is the second slide to questions to consider. Okay, make it personal. Okay, talk about your hobbies and what do you do when you are not, okay, studying. How involved are you in other things? Do you play an instrument? You are in a band? Those are nice icebreakers as well in a conversation. If you're a student looking for internships, don't bring the salary into question. Salary is much more of a, when you're looking for, full-time job and you have been in the field for a few years. So that is too early in the screening process. Let's talk about bloopers. Please don't come in late. I told you that the virtual career fairs is a specific time, and it's like, I call it like speed dating. Like you're in a lobby and then boom, you're in front of a recruiter and boom, you're done. And then you go to the next and to the next and to the next. But you have to be at the ready, okay? Be energetic, be ready. Don't come in late, because if all you get is 10 minutes and you get there 4 minutes late, how you're gonna do your speech elevator, answer questions, make questions, and all of this in 10 minutes. I mean, in 6 minutes, because now you're late. What does it mean don't come too early? Okay, don't be 20 minutes early, because then you're gonna be nervous, you're gonna start sweating, you're gonna start looking at your Facebook page, you start fidgeting. So too early, ideal time, 7 minutes early, okay? That's ideal, 7 to 10, it should be enough. Be ready, appear polished. Guys, you have time. You may be in a dorm, but you still have your pants and a suit. If you don't have a suit, color shirts, guys. Okay, color shirts. If you have short sleeve or long sleeve will be ideal. Tie doesn't have to be. If you want to wear it because it makes you feel better, great. Actually makes you feel polished. Okay. Show up with a resume. Why? Because sometimes I know some schools provide recruiters with their resumes, but sometimes the link is not working for us. And now I don't have a resume to see, but then you don't have a resume to share. So always have a resume at the ready to share in the screen. Be energetic. Don't look like you came out of bed, and you may be in your bed because we're in a pandemic. Your room may be the only room that you have available to do a virtual career fair, but don't look like you just came out of bed. Okay, don't overshare. Just stay to the questions and pause. This is a conversation. When they ask you a question, pause and answer. There may be a follow-up question, so go ahead and and pause in between. When you talk too much, that sounds like you're very nervous. Never talk negative about your past employers. It's not right. And then we get the feeling that you're going to do the same with us. Okay. Don't ask personal questions. Don't talk about compensation, benefits, vacation time. It's too soon. Virtual career fairs is super fast, and this is a screening process. It's about connecting. It's about matching. Okay. It's about fitting. So it's all about that. These questions are for later on in the next step of the process.
We have a question in the chat.
Yes.
Would a professional dress work to appear polished, or are collared shirts always preferred?
Dress is always better, okay? However, I know students that may not have that. So I always go with the most dressy shirt that you can have, as long as the ladies cover the chest area and shoulders. The guys, you look polished and ready. Okay. If you have a suit, is better. Ladies, actual suits are great too. Why not? But you know, really what they're gonna see, even though you have to dress the whole body, because we all have seen accidents of people reaching and then some things fall off or show off. So dress up completely. If you don't have an ironing, just put your clothes in a hanger in your bathroom, close it, put the water as hot as possible and make it steam. The steam after 20 minutes actually removes all the wrinkles in your clothes. So that is ideal, but look sharp, even if we are in this modality. I really hope that helps. That answer your question? We good? Okay. Careful with verbal tics. What are verbal tics? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Like every like 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 you know, so, all of these are verbal tics. And you have to practice to get out of these verbal tics. That's why I highly recommend show up for mock interviews. It is a great practice, okay? Careful with eye contact, okay? Too much looks like you're creepy, okay? Not enough. If you're bringing a notepad, tell the recruiter that you brought a notepad, okay? Because if they see you going like this, they might think that you're in your phone flipping through your Facebook page, okay? So if you bring a notebook, say, listen, I'm gonna be taking notes in our session today. I hope you don't mind. So if you see me going down, I'm just taking all the information that you have to offer. Thank you for this opportunity. Boom, okay? Next question there in the polls. What's your major? Now, first impressions, like I said, wear the whole thing. We don't want any accidents. Personal hygiene, ladies, makeup. It's not the club, all right? Fresh, natural makeup, okay? Lip gloss, okay? Appear fresh. Doesn't look like you're coming out of the bed. If you have a messy background, or really your dorm bed, it's right behind you, but it's not even done, just use a virtual screen, okay? That helps. Use full sentences when you are in the chatting room. Some virtual career fairs, you can chat with a recruiter while you're waiting in the lobby or something. Avoid slangs and emojis. You never know the age of the recruiters, so we don't want to offend. Plus, they might have no idea what you're talking about. All right, so stick it to professional full sentences and watch your grammar and spelling before you click that send. Try to look at the camera, not the interviewer. Is hard because your resume is right in front of you and you're talking about your resume, but still try to have a little bit of eye contact looking at the camera every now and then. Watch your hand movements. I'm Hispanic, I talk with my hands, but try to keep them low, not here in your face, okay? Check your setup, not too up, not too down. Sometimes I go to meetings or presentations and I see people's fans and they're in the fan and they have no idea that all I see is their fans. So test that. If they give you a test link for you to test the site before the event, use it. Why? Because that's the only way for you to know if you're gonna need Java or any of those weird things that the site needs for you to actually run. So never skip that part. Okay, try to have a room that brings natural light in it, and if not, just use those virtual screens. Try to find a quiet space. To be honest, I'm here sharing my space with my husband, my daughter, a dog, and 2 cats. And my son just left for college just yesterday, so my son was here too. So if it's a crowded area, just look for a quiet space and put a sign out. Respect in a meeting in progress, or stop meeting in progress. You have to be creative in these times. Test your equipment, test your sound, your headphones, your microphones. Again, test the links. that to make sure you have the recent Java or Flash, the only way for you to know is for you to test, to use that testing link on their site, okay? Now, after the event, please thank each and everyone that took the time to interview you. I always tell my students, when you're taking notes, ask for their names. I'm sorry, can I have your name, please? Write it down. XYZ company, their name and email address. Ask for them so you can send them. And not only that, use their names at least 3 times during the conversation. It's powerful when you can say back, thank you, Miss Sarah, for having me today. Thank you, Miss Sarah, for the wonderful information. Thank you for those specific extra notes or whatever they're giving you, okay? Use their name at least 3 times so it can stick to your mind. Send them a thank you letter, but also remind them what parts of the conversation struck or it was most relevant so you can remind them who are you. But more than anything, what works for me, connect on LinkedIn right after. Sometimes these career fairs are so fast paced that you don't have enough time. So when a student like really grabs my attention, I really want to spend more time with them. So it's really nice when they, boom, looked at me on LinkedIn and we connect and we continue the conversation through LinkedIn. That is a plus for you. Guys, continue the conversation, go to the polls, graduation year. Very nice. Now, I know it could be hard, it could be frustrating to find a job in these times, but they're still recruiting. And even if they're on hold, these too will pass. So that's why the firms and corporations, when I meet with them, they tell morale, just tell them to keep on studying, to continue to be involved, okay? To continue to be there, okay? Now, interviews, most likely, like I said, will be done virtually, okay? But this is the time for you to reflect. What is it that I want? Take the time for you to study, improve your GPA, be involved in student organizations, be involved in professional development opportunities, just like the ones that you are right now, to grow yourself as an individual and be ready to be hireable in the market, okay? Guys, this is my personal contact information, okay? I want you to send me an email if you want to do a mock interview, if you want to review resumes, okay? I'm here to support your career. I know I usually devote myself to the accounting field because that's what we do. We actually help students to be accountants and be certified public accountants. Nonetheless, okay, if you need some assistance with anything, you can reach out to your schools and have me over, or we can set up a one-on-one Teams meeting session. I'm happy to help. Is there any questions out there in the chat?
Not at the moment. Doesn't look like there is.
Not at the moment. You can always send me an email with any questions that you may have. I see so many students from different schools. This is wonderful. Now, guys, if you are in a school that has an accounting department, I am hiring campus ambassadors, okay? So what is a campus ambassador? A campus ambassador is a student that represents Becker on campus, and it helps me do events in accounting for faculty, students, network with faculty and students get at the end of a year of service a full scholarship towards their CPA exam review studies. So if you are a senior or a grad student at your school in the accounting field, just send me an email about the opportunity to become a campus ambassador. Thank you for having me. Is there any other questions before I leave the session?
Thank you so much. That was great information once again.